The doors of the courtroom creak open, and an instant silence envelops the room. Everyone looks at Janelle Brown, who walks in carrying a thick pile of papers. She is not nervous, she is not broken, but there is fire in her eyes, an expression that indicates that today will not be yesterday. And seated only 20 feet away, Kody Brown tenses in his seat, clutching the armrests, as if truth itself were tugging him down. Because today isn't another hearing. Today, a figure, $1.05 million, stands poised to tear everything Kody believed he controlled asunder. And as Janelle turns over those bank statements to her attorney, the walls of this courtroom are going to ring with betrayals no one could have predicted. So stay with me, because this tale is going to shake the very foundations of sister wives you know and love. And at the conclusion of this episode, I'll ask you a question only real fans can answer. The judge straightens his glasses, clicking his pen against the bench with a steady tick-tock rhythm reminiscent of a clock. Time and truth wait for no man. Christine, in the front row, has her jaw clenched. Meri, a couple of seats over, has her arms folded protectively. And Robyn, she's already blubbing, mascara streaming as gossip spreads through the public gallery. Court is now in session. The bailiff booms, his voice echoing. Kody sits upright, trying to force a smile, but it doesn't quite make it to his eyes. His attorney confers quietly with him, saying something that causes him to grind his jaw harder. On the other side of the aisle, Janelle's attorney stands with the serene assurance of a gambler who knows they're holding an ace. Your Honor, he starts. Today we bring before you not speculation, not rumor, but cold fact, bank records and financial documents that disclose a trail of deceit. The words hang in the air. Christine's lips lift into a thin smile, but she quickly covers it. Meri looks down at her lap, not meeting Kody's eyes. And Robyn? She takes a shaky breath and clutches at her tissue, as if it's the only thing holding her to reality. The first document flickers onto the projector screen. Tidy columns of figures, deposits, withdrawals, transfers, but these are not standard transactions. Each one sends the money to the same place, an anonymous account in the name of Kody. The air is alive with whispers. Janelle stiffens, her expression impassive, though her fingers drum against her knee. A beat of control, of simmering fury. For years, the lawyer goes on. My client was made to think that her earnings, her contributions, her sacrifices were done for the sake of the family. What she did not know, what nobody knew, was that the money was being drained, managed, manipulated, until finally, the truth came out. Kody shifts uncomfortably, clearing his throat. He tries to interject, but the judge raises a hand. You'll have your turn, Mr. Brown. The tension is suffocating. Christine leans toward Meri and whispers, this is it. This is what he never wanted us to see. Meri doesn't respond, but her eyes dart to Kody, searching, questioning, silently asking if any of this could possibly be true. And that's when the retention booster kicks in. If you think this is dramatic so far, just wait, because what Janelle's about to spill next will turn the courtroom on its head. The lawyer sets the groundwork, timelines, dollar figures, explanations. Each word falls like a hammer upon steel. But it's when Janelle herself stands up to testify that the whole courtroom leans forward. She moves slowly, slowly. She pats the microphone into place with a calmness that is all but dangerous. And when she finally speaks, it's a steady voice, but one that is sharp enough to slice through stone. For years I believed in him, Janelle asserts, gazing directly at Kody. I trusted that he was creating something for us all. But what I found out was betrayal. Every dollar I earned, every late night, every sacrifice, it was all going towards a life I didn't agree to. Kody's face turns red. He mutters, harshly, to his attorney, but it's too late. Janelle's words are daggers, and they pierce him each time she speaks. She waves the records in her hand, page after page, stamped with transfers and withdrawals, each of them initialed by Kody. The gallery erupts once more into murmurs. Some gasp, others toss their heads in amazement. Robyn buries her face in her hands. Christine keeps her eyes closed, as if in relief, as if vindicated after all those warnings no one wanted to hear. The judge bangs his gavel. Order in the court. Silence descends. Janelle brings down the papers. Her tone is lower, but her words cut through the air. This has nothing to do with money, Your Honor. This is about trust, about family, about promises broken when he valued power over love. Her words reverberate, echoing from the walls. The courtroom is suspended in time for a moment. And then, Kody finally speaks. His voice is low, but the desperation seeps through. That's not the full story, Janelle, and you know it. The judge glances between them, eyes narrowing. The tension is unbearable. Because just as the judge is about to adjourn for recess, Christine suddenly stands up from the gallery and says, loud enough for everyone to hear, I have something to add to that, Your Honor. Something that changes everything. Gasps circulate around the room. Kody turns pale. Janelle's eyes go wide. And in that moment, the courtroom drama takes a turn nobody saw coming. The courtroom is abuzz. Whispers, creaking chairs, the scratching of pens on paper. But all of that is forgotten. The moment Kody Brown stands up straight, her voice slices through the atmosphere like a blade. Your Honor, she says again, her words loud now. There's more. And if this court doesn't listen, the truth will never be whole. Kody's head jerks in her direction, his eyes wide in shock. He didn't see this coming, not from Christine. He grumbles under his breath, but it's already too late. The judge, having an interest, waves for her to come forward. Christine takes a step forward, each one ringing out on the tile floor. She's not carrying papers, she's not carrying evidence, she's carrying something much more substantial. The weight of years of not speaking. And when she finally gets up on the stand, the room becomes so silent you could hear a pin drop. Because this is not about money anymore. This is about betrayal so profound it explodes the very concept of family. And if Janelle's bank statements were dynamite, Christine's bombshell is about to blow this courtroom to smithereens. Christine inhales deeply. Her hands shake a little, but her gaze is piercing, fixed on Kody. For years she starts. We left everything in his hands. The finances, the homes, the future of our children. But what Janelle discovered, that's only the tip of the iceberg. What I learned illustrates Kody was never constructing for us. He was constructing for himself. The room stirs. Robyn shifts uneasily, her face pale, while Meri's fingers dig into her armrest, the tension visible in every muscle. Christine glances down, then up again. I learned there were property deeds, signed and transferred without any of us being aware. Land that we labored for, sacrificed for, paid for, but ultimately never ours. It was his, all of it in his name. We were pawns in a game he played by himself. Kody sits bolt upright, his voice breaking with rage. That's a lie. You have no evidence of that. The judge holds up a firm hand. Sit down, Mr. Brown. Christine doesn't blink. She inches forward to the microphone. Her voice comes low and full of emotion. It's not even about evidence. It's about the lives we gave him. The loyalty. The love. And he sold it to us like some business arrangement we never consented to. If you thought Christine was done, think again. Because what she has to tell us next will make even Janelle gasp. The lawyer for Janelle nods at Christine. Go on, he says softly, as if he already knows where this is going. Christine's breath hitches. The records I uncovered indicate that our mutual accounts were used to channel the money directly into those properties. He used our funds, our efforts to grow his empire, but not the deeds. And when I accused him of it, she stops, burning with tears in her eyes. He told me it was none of my concern. Gasps spread through the courtroom. Janelle's lips part, shocked, as though the ground has been ripped from under her. Meri shakes her head in disbelief, whispering, he wouldn't, but deep down she knows he would. Kody pounds the table with his fist. That's not how it happened. You're twisting everything, Christine. His voice rises, raw with desperation, but Christine does not shatter. Her voice, quivering, carries the gravitas of decades of silence. I kept quiet too long, Kody. I let you play us against one another. I let you offer us security, and take it away in secret. No longer. Today the world will see who you are. The judge leans forward, his face inscrutable. Mrs. Brown, do you happen to have those records with you? Christine nods slowly. From her purse, she withdraws a folder. Thick, worn, trembling slightly in her hand. She places it carefully on the desk, pushing it across. The attorney opens it, his eyes running quickly, then broadening. Your Honor, these are official deeds, tax returns, and signed transfers, all in Mr. Brown's name. This is not just proof. It's the sort of discovery that might bring an end to Kody's case before it's even started. The judge orders a short recess, but the room will not settle. Reporters scurry out, hissing in whispers. Robyn inches toward Kody, whispering wildly, but he pushes her back, his face contorted in rage. Meri sits blankly before her, lost in thought, as if all memories she ever had with Kody are dissolving. Christine exits the stand. She does not glance at Kody. She does not have to. Her truth has been uttered, and the quiet that follows speaks louder than any denial he might be able to come up with. Janelle rises, making her way slowly to her. Their eyes lock. No words are spoken. But in that moment an unspoken connection is forged between the two of them. Two women, once separated by jealousy and resentment, now brought together by betrayal. And Kody, he sits alone. For the first time, really alone. But just when you think that Kody has lost everything, he plays a card no one expected. The courtroom session resumes. The judge is tired but calm. Mr. Brown, now you may answer to these accusations. Kody stands. His hands clench the table like he's grasping for life itself. His eyes are red, his hair unkempt, his voice shaking with rage and urgency. You think I'm the bad guy, he starts, scowling at Christine and Janelle. You think I betrayed you. But you don't get it. None of you ever did. I supported this family. I kept it together when you all wanted to give up. You think those actions constitute betrayal. They constitute survival. They constitute me being the only one who cared enough to safeguard our future. Robyn breaks into sobs, nodding her head furiously, whispering, yes, that's true. That's true. But the others don't budge. Janelle stiffens. Christine shakes her head. Meri, her eyes are full of something other than what was there before. Doubt, regret, perhaps even guilt. Kody bangs his hand on the table. You call it betrayal. I call it leadership. And if you believe these papers indicate otherwise, then you never knew me at all. The judge slams his gavel. That's enough, Mr. Brown. But the damage is done. His words, intended to defend, have only widened the fissures. And as the courtroom waits for the next witness, one thing is certain: this trial is about more than money. It's about a family's soul, torn asunder. The bailiff steps forward. Next witness, he declares, his voice ringing. Everyone spins, and to their surprise, it's Meri who stands, slowly, nervously, but with a resolve that makes even Kody blanch. Because if Janelle produced the bank statements, and Christine produced the deed, Meri is going to produce the secrets that can blow Kody's defense wide open forever. The room is holding its breath, as Meri Brown stands up very slowly from her chair. She's been the quiet one for years, the peacemaker, the wife who stood on the sidelines as storms raged on around her. But now, as she approaches the witness stand, there is something different in her eyes. No fear, no hesitation, just determination. Kody shifts uneasily, whispering to his lawyer, but Meri doesn't even glance his way. She places her hand on the Bible, swears to tell the truth, and then locks her gaze on the judge. Your Honor, she says softly, but firmly, I've stayed silent for far too long. And the truth I'm about to share, it will hurt me as much as it hurts him. The courtroom comes to attention. Even Janelle and Christine lean in, not certain what Meri is going to say. Robyn clutches her tissue more tightly, shaking her head, mouthing the words, don't do this. But Meri is already too far in. And as she takes the stand, everyone in the room understands this is no longer about money or assets. This is about the family's core, and the darkest secrets Kody struggled to keep buried. And what Meri will reveal in the next few minutes could not only demolish not only Kody's case, but his legacy. Meri clears her throat, the hand shaking against the wood of the witness stand. She looks down for a brief second, steeling herself, before straightening out straight ahead. Years I thought I was special, she starts. Kody's first wife, his foundation, the one who assisted him in the creation of this family. But as time passed, I discovered that I wasn't special. I was convenient. And when he needed me most, he used me. A wave of whispers flashes through the courtroom. Kody's face constricts, his lips tensed into a firm line. Meri gets into her bag and takes out a little notebook, dog-eared, the cover threadbare, packed with years of writing. She sets it down on the stand. These are my journals, she tells them. Every word I wrote in them are mine. And they contain a pattern. Kody asking me to sign papers I didn't know what was on them, to open accounts I never had access to move money I thought was for the family. But I found out later that it wasn't. Christine's mouth falls open. Janelle gasps silently. Robyn's hand flies to her mouth, her head shaking furiously as if willing Meri to desist. Kody jumps up. That's personal. Those journals are confidential. You can't just sit down, Mr. Brown. The judge bellows, slamming the gavel. Meri's voice breaks but becomes more confident. He said the documents were investment for our kids' future, but they weren't. They were cover-ups. They were means to conceal what he was actually doing. If the bank statements and deeds were scandalous, Meri's diaries are going to rewrite the whole narrative. The lawyer slowly leafs through several pages, reading aloud lines packed with dates and comments. Kody said sign this. Trust me. Kody moved money again. Says it's for the new land. Kody promises it's for us. But why can't I see where it goes? Every sentence cinches the noose. Meri wipes her eyes, her voice shaking with anger and sadness. I trusted him. I trusted him more than anybody. And he used that trust to take away my security, my voice, my value. The gallery is stone silent. Christine leans in close to Janelle and breathes. She held all of this all these years. Janelle nods her head in shock, tears welling in her eyes. Kody finally speaks, his tone frantic. That's not betrayal. That's marriage. That's what commitment looks like. She's twisting everything. But the judge isn't swayed. He leans back, eyes fixed on Kody, as if silently weighing the truth in Meri's words. Meri takes a shaky breath. This isn't about revenge. It's about the truth. And the truth is, he manipulated me. He made me complicit without me even knowing it. And I can't carry that guilt anymore. Just when you think Meri has laid everything bare, there's one entry in those journals that no one expected. And it's about Robyn. The attorney clears his throat, turning to a page marked with a folded corner. He reads aloud. April 2016. Kody asked me to sign a loan document. Said it was for family medical expenses. Later discovered the funds went into a joint account with Robyn. Asked him about it. He said, don't question me again. The room gasps. Robyn breaks down in sobs, shaking her head wildly. That's not true. That never happened. She wails, but her voice is covered up by the murmur. Kody bangs his hand on the table. You don't understand. I had to keep things separate. It wasn't like that. But his words ring hollow. The picture has already been drawn. Kody secretly channeling money, showing preference to Robyn, while hiding it from the others. Christine leans back in her chair, arms crossed. There it is, she says. The truth we always suspected, but could never confirm. Janelle nods slowly, eyes hardening with betrayal. Meri addresses the judge, her words no more than a whisper. I didn't want to believe it. I didn't want to accept that the man I gave my life to would betray me like this. But I can't deny it anymore. Not to myself, not to this court. And if you think Meri's testimony just sealed Kody's fate, the twist that comes next will leave everyone speechless. The judge requests the exhibits be entered into evidence. The courtroom crackles, charged with shock, outrage, incredulity. Reporters write furiously. The gallery murmurs, some head shaking, others nodding grimly. Kody sits slumped, his face pale, his hands clenched around the table edge so tightly his knuckles whiten. Robyn leans against him, whispering wildly, but his eyes are vacant, far away. Meri leaves the stand, her shoulders trembling, as if decades of weight had just been removed. She will not meet Kody's eyes. She does not have to. The silence between them speaks volume. But the judge is just preparing to adjourn, when the bailiff comes into the room, holding a sealed envelope. He passes it to the judge, who opens it slowly, reading its contents with furrowed brows. The judge's voice interrupts the silence. It seems we have some new evidence presented anonymous. Financial records signed by Mr. Brown himself. Gasps erupt around the room. Kody's head snaps up, fear sparkling in his eyes. Janelle and Christine shoot each other shocked looks. Meri's frozen in her chair. Robyn covers her mouth, shaking. The judge fixes Kody with a look. These records indicate offshore accounts, directly associated with your name. Can you tell me about this, Mr. Brown? Kody's mouth hangs open, but nothing emerges. And in this moment, the whole case changes again. The judge slams the gavel. Court will reconvene tomorrow morning. And Mr. Brown, be ready to defend this. As the courtroom clears, murmurs ripple like thunder. The women huddle together, their unity stronger than ever. And Kody, he stands by himself, his eyes on the ground, realizing walls are closing in sooner than he ever could have dreamed. Because now,
It's not just the wives against him. It's the truth. The courtroom is abuzz. Yesterday concluded with a cryptic envelope that had whispered of offshore bank accounts in the name of Kody Brown. Today, all reporters, all cameras, and all rumors are fixated on one thing. How far does Kody's dishonesty go? As the judge comes in, Kody fidgets uncomfortably, his tie twisted at a rakish angle, his hands tucking and untucking. He is no longer the cocky patriarch. He is a man trapped. The air is heavy with silence, heavy enough to smother on. Then the prosecutor stands up. He waves a sheaf of papers around, with a red circle around a single number. $1,050,000. The room gasps. Christine grips Janelle's hand. Meri suspended in mid-air. Robyn's lips quiver, as if she knows the answer to this one already. The prosecutor's voice slices like a knife. Mr. Brown, can you tell me why $1.05 million was moved out of your family accounts and into a secret trust, where you have sole access? Kody's face goes pale. The courtroom is filled with gasped whispers. And in that moment, it's obvious this isn't family betrayal anymore. It's fraud on a magnitude nobody envisioned. The judge bangs his gavel. Order in the court. Christine's eyes go wide. 1.05 million. He was keeping that from us. Janelle breathes back softly. That's the money. That's why the bills never computed. Meri, pale and shaking, shakes her head slowly. All those years and he said we were broke. Robyn breaks down in tears. It's not what you think. He had reasons. He told me. But she hasn't the breath to finish the sentence. The prosecutor lays the documents on the table for the judge. This trust was created under Mr. Brown's name, with transfers occurring steadily over several years. The beneficiaries? Not the family, not the children, just him. Kody jumps up. I did it to protect them. You don't understand. If I hadn't, the judge's glare cuts him down. Sit down, Mr. Brown. If you thought Kody was pinned down already, just wait and listen to what this $1.05 million has to do with all of his wives. And the deception unravels step by step. The prosecutor starts recalling witnesses once more. First Janelle. She gets up on stage, holding a folder. I handled all the household budget, she says. Bills, food, school expenses.
And I always thought we were in trouble. Kody would say money was tight. He would tell me not to stress when the books didn't balance. But today I see where it all went. She pulls open the folder and shows her spreadsheets. Years of scribbled down notes and financial analyses. I attempted to even things out, but each time there was missing money. I questioned him. He always dismissed me. He made me think I was crazy. But this confirms it. I wasn't crazy. Christine tightens her eyes closed, visibly drained. All those times I pleaded with him to cover the kids' medical expenses, he said we couldn't. Meri sits in stunned silence, her expression drained of any emotion. The prosecutor turns to Janelle and asks, Mrs. Brown, had you known that more than $1 million had been set aside, would you have remained mute? Her voice cracks. Never. I would have defended our children. For all of us. Janelle's testimony packs a punch, but the next witness isn't going to discuss numbers. They're going to accuse Kody of something much more sinister. Christine is up next. Her testimony seethes with fire. For years Kody guilt-tripped us into sacrifices. Vacations we couldn't afford. Houses we couldn't keep. He said we were in debt. Drowning. He said if we didn't obey, the whole family would collapse. And now I see. He was lying to control us. He let us bleed while he stacked his pockets. Kody jumps up again. That's not true. I was protecting the family from bankruptcy. Christine stares at him, her words slicing. Sacrificing for us, starving us while you plotted a future with Robyn, depriving our children of things while you constructed a mansion for her? The gallery gasps. The reporters write wildly. Robyn weeps harder, covering her face with her hands. The prosecutor urges Christine on, have you got evidence of these sacrifices? She produces pictures of medical bills, unpaid invoices, even eviction notices from years past. This is evidence. Evidence that as we struggled, he was hiding cash. Evidence that each time he told us we had nothing, he already had everything. The room falls silent. Even the judge's face softens. And just when Christine seems to have closed the book on Kody's defense, the court hears from the last person anyone expected, Robyn. Robyn, continuing to sob, is reluctantly summoned to the stand. She wipes away tears and says in a shaking voice, I didn't know everything. I swear I didn't. But
Yes, I knew about the trust. He said it was for us, for our future. He said the other wives didn't get him, didn't get behind him. He told me to be quiet.
The wives gasp simultaneously. Janelle shakes her head in rage. Christine speaks under her breath. Of course she knew. Meri simply stares at the ground, quiet tears streaming down her face. The prosecutor comes in close. Mrs. Brown, are you claiming you profited from this secret trust? Robyn pauses, then barely whispers. Yes, but I thought it was love money, not stolen money. He said it was his way of taking care of me. The whole courtroom erupts with whispers. Kody pounds his fist on the table. Don't you turn this around. I did everything for this family. I protected us. Nobody trusts him now. The judge speaks loudly. Mr. Brown, this is not protection. This is deceit. The $1 million betrayal is bad enough, but the court isn't through, because the anonymous envelope still has one final secret. The prosecutor again holds up the envelope. Your Honor, in addition to the offshore account documents, we discovered evidence of forged signatures. The wives stand stock still. Christine glances over at Meri. Janelle gasps, covering her mouth in shock. The prosecutor goes on. All three of the original wives' signatures, authorizing these transfers, they never even knew existed. Transfers straight into Mr. Brown's trust. Meri gasps, holding her chest. That's why he always pushed papers in my face. That's why he pushed us. Janelle, shaking, whispers, he forged us. Christine blows up in anger. You used us, you stole from us, and made it seem like we signed off on it? The courtroom is a melee. The wives are crying. The gallery is abuzz. Reporters almost tumbling over themselves to get every quote. Kody's face pale. His attorney speaks in hushed urgency, but it's of no use. The proof is monumental. The judge bangs the gavel. This court will adjourn tomorrow. But Mr. Brown? He looks down at him with an icy gaze. I advise you to get ready, because this case is not merely about family squabbles anymore. This case is now one of criminal fraud. As the wives cluster together at last, all of them join now in suffering, but also in strength. Kody sits still, eyes cast blankly ahead. His kingdom is crumbling, his secrets are unraveling, and his authority is lost, because the next chapter won't merely be divorce or asset division. It will be whether or not Kody Brown leaves this courthouse a free man, or in handcuffs. The courthouse doors open wide, and the sea of faces surges inside. It's not another day of testimony, it's the day of judgment. Cameras click, reporters yell, and hushed words spread through the air like a shock. Kody Brown walks in, hunched over, his once tall swagger gone, replaced by a nervous stride. He does not meet the eyes of his wives, does not meet the gaze of the reporters, does not meet the truth. His empire has already fallen in the court of public opinion, but what goes on in this room will determine his destiny forever. The judge's gavel comes down. This court is now in session. The prosecutor stands tall with measured power. Your Honor, the facts are plain. The forged signatures, the offshore bank accounts, the trust fund. Mr. Brown knowingly misled his wives and children for financial benefits. The sum of money hidden, $1.05 million. Gasps fill the courtroom. Janelle clasps Christine's hand. Meri scoots forward, eyes afire with years of deception. Robyn dryly wipes her tears. The judge puts on his glasses. Today, we're not only deciding the financial split, but whether or not Mr. Brown will have more criminal charges. This verdict will make everything different. And the waiting game for Kody's judgment is on. The courtroom is oppressive. All eyes are on the judge, every breath held. Christine whispers to herself, please, let it finally be over. Janelle shakes her head resolutely. It must. We can't go forward until he's exposed. Meri sits in silence, her lips clamped tightly together, as if fearful that if she opens her mouth, the dam of feelings will break. The prosecutor puts it bluntly. Your Honor, we move that the $1.05 million be returned to the rightful owners, the wives and children of Mr. Brown, and punitive damages be sought. Kody's attorney retorts, his voice trembling but urgent. Your Honor, this money was not embezzled. It was saved for the future of the family. My client only did what he thought was in their best interest. The judge browses an eyebrow. With forged signatures, with hidden accounts, that is not protection. That is deception. Kody's face constricts. He growls, I did it for control. Without control, there's chaos. They never respected me unless I was in charge. Christine listens to him. Her face becomes stern. She whispers hotly, and now the reins are lost. If you believe the $1 million settlement is the culmination of the story, wait until you hear how the judge announces his decision. With words that shock Kody to his very foundation, the judge starts his pronouncement, voice firm, measured. Mr. Brown, this court has weighed all evidence and testimony offered. The facts are inescapable. You established a trust with deceit. You withheld more than $1 million for your own control when your family went without. This is a breach of trust, both moral and legal. The courtroom is quiet, save for the click of pens of reporters. The judge goes on. This court directs that the $1.05 million be cashed out of the trust and split equally between Mrs. Brown, Mrs. Brown, Mrs. Brown, and Mrs. Brown. He looks at each wife in turn, hesitating as he comes to Robyn. Yes, even you, Mrs. Brown. Although you gained, you were also deceived. Robyn gasps, her hand over her mouth. Tears flow down her face. Janelle leans forward, her eyes wide. Christine takes Meri's hand. For the first time in years, the women are bound together by something greater than separation, vindication. The judge is not done. In addition, this court advises exploration of potential criminal charges on the forgery of signatures. Mr. Brown, your actions can cost you not only your wealth, but your freedom. The gasps this time is thunderous. The wives have taken the payoff, perhaps, but the threat of prison hanging over their heads gives this whole household drama a much darker twist. Underscore 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 Kody's face. He stumbles back into his chair, reaching out to cling to the edge of the table, as if the wood itself would protect him from sinking. He attempts to speak, his voice breaking. You can't do this. I gave my life to them. I sacrificed for them. And now you're punishing me for being the leader they needed? Christine stands up in rage. You didn't lead us, Kody. You lied to us. You let us suffer while you played king of your own castle. And now the truth is finally here. Janelle's voice is firm, but her hands tremble. This isn't punishment. This is justice. For the children. For all the years we were living in your shadow. Meri, for the first time in years, speaks with power. You said I was nothing without you. But today, you're the one who has nothing. Robyn cries, whispering, Kody, what did you do to us? The courtroom is filled with whispers and tension, the words echoing off the wood-paneled walls like ghosts' whispers. When the wives think they have won, Kody makes one final desperate plea. A plea that could rip the courtroom apart. Kody rises to his feet quickly, knocking over his chair. His attorney attempts to hold him back, but he pushes past him. His voice thunders through the courtroom. Think you've won? Think this check sets you free? You're nothing without me. You're weak. You'll crawl back when the funds are gone. The wives do not stir. They sit, a stone wall of unspoken power against his fury. Christine's glare cuts into him. We don't need you anymore, Kody. That's something you'll never get. The bailiffs move closer, ready to intervene. The judge pounds his gavel. Order, Mr. Brown. One more outburst, and you'll be held in contempt. Kody stops, his chest heaving, sweat glistening on his forehead. He looks around the room, at the wives, at the cameras, at the judge. His empire is gone, and for the first time he realizes it. He sinks back into his chair, defeated. And just as the dust is settling, the judge drops one final bombshell, a ruling that will haunt Kody for the rest of his life. The judge's face inches toward Brown, voice cutting and authoritative. Mr. Brown, this court hereby removes you from financial control of your family. You are prohibited from having any control over any trust, account, or property involving your wives or children. Your days of manipulation are over today. The wives exhale in chorus, a deep sigh of years' accumulation of withheld pain. Christine holds on to the arm of Janelle. Meri breathes shudderingly, tears streaming but eyes gleaming. Even Robyn, shattered as she is, nods through her tears. The gavel of the judge rings one final time. This court is adjourned. The audio echoes like thunder. The case is closed. The truth has been revealed. And the wives leave that courtroom, not only with a settlement, but with liberty. Kody sits still, alone, his head in his hands. The cameras record every second. The great patriarch of sister wives brought low, his kingdom of dominance in ruins. And so it is finished. $1 million betrayal, a trial, and the fall of Kody Brown's authority. But the question is now yours. If you were one of the sister wives, would you forgive Kody, or would you insist on prison time for his betrayal? Let me know in the comments, because this tale isn't solely theirs, it's a lesson for all of us.